Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. We're continuing our talk with the National Weather Service. Milwaukee Sullivan. I've got Kevin Wagner here, one of the meteorologists, kind enough to join us here during a busy time for you guys. Kevin, thank you again for taking the time here. We're going to transition, Kevin, into talking about how complex it is to be a meteorologist and talk about the difficulty it is with predicting where these storms are coming in. I think you guys do a wonderful job at getting the information out the best you can, and I think the take home today for me would be, it's about awareness, and then as it gets closer, following in. But we'll dive into that. Kevin, just start with it. Why is it so hard to predict these snowstorms?
Well, it's never easy. Mother Nature never behaves how you expect it to behave. We have models, satellite, radar to give us all the latest data, but there are still some gaps in the data at the surface that we do not always capture. So with that kind of little alterations in the weather pattern can really affect our forecast. Like we were talking about earlier, where that freezing line is going to set up and where the track of the storm is actually going to go, it really plays a big factor in what we'll see in the winter weather-wise. Because if it's a little bit further south, we're in the better chances to see snow. A little further north, we tend to be on that warmer side of the system, which would give us more of that wintry mix and even some rain like we saw last weekend. So trying to determine where, especially several days out, where that system is going to go, and it kind of alters between kind of refines the forecast days in advance as we come upcoming to the event. So earlier this week, I think we were looking at storm coming kind of a little further south of us, but as we got through the week, it started progressing on more northward, and that was altering our forecast with snow and the wintry mix. So kind of just determining how things play out, and then kind of where where that freezing line sets up. Last weekend, we saw that kind of started pushing east, kind of set up right across our area pretty much from Monroe up to that Fort Washington kind of line, and areas to that southeast didn't really see much snow, just mainly that wintry mix and rain, while everything kind of north saw wintry mix and snow. So we were actually watching that line, that freezing line kind of migrate back and forth as kind of wavered as that warm air kind of pushed in. So it's kind of hard to determine where that is several days out until that event actually occurs. So overall, it's just kind of Mother Nature does its own thing. We can try our best to predict it, use statistics, kind of give us the best snowfall amount as possible. But sometimes Mother Nature just wants to do her own thing.
Well, you can't fight Mother Nature, I guess. You guys have a lot of tools in the bag there. What are some of the tools that are using when we're talking about predicting? Tim was nice enough. We did a tour last summer, and I still owe him that show, by the way. So tell him that. But we see that the tools you have, and we see like the Weather Channel and stuff. Everybody's getting their fancy tools out, showing you all these forecast models. But what do you guys got in-house that can help with making these predictions?
So as you can see behind me, we have our computer system, AWEB system, that kind of brings in all that weather data. We got different models coming in from the high-res models that are the smaller localized models to the global models coming in. So we kind of take all those, put those together, and kind of create like a forecast based on all those together. So we got those to look further out. We also have observation sites across a lot of the airports have real-time observations that we use. We have our radars. We have one here at the office just up the hill behind there, and then we also have one at the Mitchell Airfield, thermal Doppler radar that kind of gives us what's going on. And then also in the past couple of years, National Weather Service has upgraded their satellites. So we have some high-res satellite data that's now being fed into our models, helping us better refine those models several days out. So we have lots of different tools that kind of help us predict what's going to happen. And then on top of all that, we do our graphics. A lot of statistical analysis is going through that, kind of giving us kind of the ranges that we can see based on all the different models that are out there. Because quite frankly, there's quite a bit of models. We can't look at everything, so we kind of have to rely on the mathematics behind it, what's most likely going to happen, and kind of base it off that. So several different things to do, several different things to look at, and it's always fun to see what changes and what doesn't change. So.
I'm sure I'd love to sit in on these meetings. Do you guys like arm wrestle? Like, you know what? I know that this track is going to be a little bit more to the south, and then the other person's going, well, I think it's going to be a little bit to the more. Do we have any of those types of meetings there, Kevin?
Oh yeah, most definitely, especially with our surrounding offices. Always kind of collaborate, try to get the best picture possible. Some models tend to handle systems a little bit better, but sometimes then the ones that you most rely on can fall short sometimes. So last weekend was an example of that. All the models are kind of in pretty good agreement with the snow last weekend, but Mother Nature had different plans and kind of shifted it a little further north, pushed that freezing line in. So. But yeah, we're always collaborating within the office with other meteorologists, with our neighbors around the surrounding offices as well. So it's a collaborative effort, trying to come up with a forecast there.
Yeah, and in all seriousness, again, what a tough job to do, to be able to predict it and still to be able to nail it down in a range. I think is really impressive. Overall, the goals in prediction. What are some of the goals that you guys have when you're looking at prediction? I mean, you kind of spelled it out pretty good, but what are some of those goals that the National Weather Service uses to do these predictions?
So the National Weather Service goal is the protection of life and property. And so everything that we do in our forecast is with that goal in mind. Try to save as many lives as we can. Try to keep people off the road. Try to mainly give like the forecast based on impact so we can protect those lives and even property. So overall, our main goal is protect life and property.
And overall, too, with the forecast and the public view, how should we take these forecasts overall? Again, we get you're updating them constantly, but what would be that message when we're checking out forecasts?
That's a good question.
Come on, Kevin. Now Tim said you'd be able to answer this one. No, I was kidding.
So there's several different places that people get their forecast from. You got the broadcast media, you got the National Weather Service, and you got several different private companies. But generally, the main thing to take away is kind of the impacts from these systems. Yeah, we're going to have maybe 4 to 6. We may be forecasting 4 to 6 inches, but maybe we get 2 to 5. But nonetheless, that's still snow or some kind of impact is going to occur from it, be it rain or ice. So the main thing to take away from our forecast is what are going to be impacts and how it's going to impact you. How can you adjust your day to kind of adjust or match the forecast and keep yourself safe. So.
All right, Kevin, that is great information. Thank you so much for taking the time here today and doing this. It's great information, and again, I think overall, I can say, at least for myself and people around me, that we appreciate what all the staff are doing over there, and you told me that you're not going to be spending the night there in sleeping bags or anything. There's plenty of staff to be in and out, so glad to hear that. But either way, thank you for the time, and good luck here as we move into this weekend and the rest of winter.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, wrap up the show next. You are watching Talking Fitchburg.